Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Falih. My student's number is 192122076, and here I want to explain to you all about my research proposal with the title is the effect of extensive reading activity to build students' vocabulary mastery in language learning. Um, okay, uh, here are my background of my research. Um, Vocabulary is essential in language learning, and in language learning, vocabulary is an important part that must be mastered by students. And there are many important things of vocabulary, include communicating and understanding what others say, expressing ideas, and comprehending reading material, and help students in learning English. But however, most senior high school students still have problem with vocabulary mastery. The problem happened because of the students' lack of enthusiasm and interest in reading, and students find unfamiliar words, and sometimes they still find difficulties to comprehend the meaning of some words. And in addition, the students are lazy to read and to memorize vocabulary. And sometimes students can become bored and they require a new learning method in order to make their interest in improving their vocabulary. And therefore, one of learning method that can be used by students is to use extensive reading. According to Bell in 2001, extensive reading is a type of reading instruction program that has been used in ESL or EFL settings as an effective resource of developing reading fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary development. And uh, uh, Ioning Tias in 2011 in her research found that by applying of the extensive reading activity successfully improved students' vocabulary mastery by using book fluid activity and telling truth. The students can memorize the word easily so that their understanding can increase. And in addition, this activity not only make them enthusiastic but also improve their activeness in teaching and learning process. And students who read a lot will feel a lot of positive impact. In other research, ENDA in 2014 research about the effectiveness of extensive reading towards students' vocabulary mastery, and the result showed that there was effectiveness of uh, extensive reading toward student vocabulary mastery, and it can be seen from that data gotten after the holding of pre-test and post-test. And next is a research question, and based on the statement above, I formulate a question to answer: is there any effect of extensive reading activity in building student vocabulary mastery? And here is the operational definition. And in my opinion, vocabulary is all the words that a person know and use. And having good vocabulary mastery allows students to use language to communicate fluently. Therefore, anyone who wants to learn a language successfully should increase their vocabulary mastery. And then, uh, in my opinion, extensive reading activity are a method in learning process. In extensive reading, students choose the reading material with their pleasure and their level. The students read with the large and they could read their reading material anywhere and anytime they want. But students also have a reading target. And by process of extensive reading, the students have a chance to meet words uh, in order in order to able to recognize uh, the words that they meet, and therefore it is expected by using extensive reading uh, could help to build students' vocabulary mastery. And and the aim of my research is to find out whether or not extensive reading activity have a significant effect in building student vocabulary mastery. And for uh, the use of the research, the use of my research, uh, the results of this study are expected to be valuable, both theoretical and practical in teaching of English, particularly in the learning of English vocabulary. And uh, theoretically, this study provides an easier and more interesting way in the teaching and learning vocabulary to extensive reading activity. And practically, the study is expected to help students in improving their English skill, especially in mastering vocabulary. And this is a theoretical framework from my research proposal. Vocabulary is a basic skill in communication. As stated by Booth in 2008, vocabulary is all the word that a person knows and use to communicate, ex- express their idea or their limit. And the definition of extensive reading, according to Day and Bamford in 2004, extensive reading is an approach in language teaching in which the students are allowed visit of material in target language. Uh, Students are free to choose what they want to read, and if they get difficulty and the material is not interesting, they can change with the other reading material based on their pleasure and their level. And the reading material can be found in various sources, such as library and internet, and they can read book, novel, or article. And in addition, Blair in 2011 states that extensive reading helps the learners to build their vocabulary and introducing them to words and language skill terms and giving them a sense of common word partnership. Okay, next, the research methodology that I use in this research is uh, pre-experimental research design. Um, why I use pre-experimental research design is because this design is being the simplest form of exploratory design and generally use only one group for treatment, which make observation simple and easy. And the population and sample that I uh, carry out is the population. The population is from uh, 8th class from the 10-year students of SMA Negeri 1 Manja. And for the sample, I took one class for the sample of my research that is class 10 IPA 4 that consists of 35 students. And here is the data collection and data analysis. The data collection consists of two tests, that is pre-test and post-test. The pre-test was given to the student to measure the basic knowledge of student vocabulary mastery. And then the post-test was given after the treatment to find out the improvement of the student's vocabulary mastery. And the data analysis, the data analysis in this in my research, as I will use the independent sample t-test. And I use the independent sample t-test formula to find out the effect of extensive reading activity to build student vocabulary mastery in language learning. And here are the references that I use for my research proposal. Okay, thank you everyone. I think that's all my explanation about my research proposal. Bye bye. See you and thank you again.